Hello Internet and welcome to ACD Camping, the home of woodland shenanigans on a shoestring budget. I'm ACD and in this video I'd like to discuss the map and how to use it. Now I've gone over in a bit of detail in the previous 4 videos now I think about the ins and outs of the compass, but today we're going to focus on solely this piece of paper that lets you get from point A to point B and maybe even point C along the way. Now, no one's really sure exactly where the first maps were created or who exactly drew them, but they've been found in everything from cave paintings to ornate etchings in archaeological sites throughout the world, from Greece to China. And it's only up until around the 5th century BC, with expanding trade routes by the then superpowers of the day, that these maps started to become increasingly accurate. Today we have satellite imagery with its ability to pretty much pinpoint an ant on a drop of water that we use in our GPS systems, and the resulting images taken from those satellites are used in one way or another to produce maps. Now, there's literally hundreds of different maps out there, from the one that you might sketch when giving or receiving directions to the one that you might see on election night, where the heat maps show where one particular party is doing better than the other and vice versa. But these aren't very detailed, they just give a vague outline of a particular area or subject. There are, however, 3 that are more detailed and that hikers and campers and people navigating their way may come across. There's nautical, which is used by ships to safely navigate natural and man-made obstacles above and below sea level. Road maps that are used to plan journeys, they're the paper version of your GPS unit. And of course, the topographical. This shows the shape and height of the land. They are what you will be using when hiking, usually in the form of an Ordnance Survey map. These guys have mapped out 234,000 square kilometres of everything from housing estates to hills. It's this kind of map that we'll be looking at today. Now, to fully understand what you are looking at, all those weird little lines and funny looking symbols, there will be a key, also known as the map legend. This handy guide tells you what exactly that weird little triangle thingy you've been puzzling over is, and any other symbols that you might encounter. It would be pretty much impossible to take with you a full-size drawing of the area you are travelling, so maps have to be drawn to scale. This map of the South Pennines, for example, is at a scale of 1 to 25,000, which means everything on it is 25,000 times smaller than it is in reality. The grid is these little blue lines that run up, down, left, right on an OS map. They have corresponding numbers so that they can accurately pinpoint yourself and others by means of what's known as a grid reference. Now, on the map that you'll be looking at, you'll notice that it's overlaid with a grid. The grid is made up of 2 lines, and these 2 lines also have corresponding numbers. The numbers running from left to right are called the eastings, and the numbers running from the bottom of the map to the top are called the northings. Now, there are 2 main ways of taking a grid reference, a 4-figure and a 6-figure. The 4-figure grid reference is the simplest one to take, as it is simply taking the eastings number first, followed by the northings, along the corridor and up the stairs. Is the simplest way to remember it. So our little friend here is at grid reference 3012. Now let's imagine that we need a more accurate location within our grid reference. We already have our 4-figure grid reference, the 3012. So we take that particular square and we split it into tenths, running along the eastings and up the northings. Once we've done that, we can then count along the eastings until we are parallel with our location that we're after, and then up the northings. So our new 6-figure grid reference is 307127. In addition to the 4 or 6-figure grid reference you are using, there's a 2-letter prefix. That's the big letters printed in blue in the very top corner of a map. The South Pennines are SD, for example. Every part of the UK has been divided into 100 kilometre squares. If you are requiring assistance, you should quote this before the grid reference. In the case of our little friend in the examples, it would be SD 307127. Without that prefix, these grid references are repeated every 100 kilometres. These are the little orange and brown lines with numbers on them. That's the height above sea level. It's an equal height all around its length. Height difference between 2 contour lines is 10 metres, 5 on flatter terrain. The closer the contour lines are together, the steeper the slope. Spurs and valleys on a map are shown as V's. A valley points uphill and a spur points downhill on a contour line.